Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the 19th hole. We are live on In Between Media. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to the whole channel, and jingle that bell for notifications. We are sports, we are lifestyle, and everything in between. We have reached the last major of the season on the PGA Tour. It is the Open Championship or the Open, or if you're a really cantankerous, old-fashioned person from America, it's the British Open. Yes, it is in Britain. It's in Royal Portrush in County Antrim, Northern Ireland. It's going to be a raucous crowd, all rooting for probably Shane Lowry and Rory McIlroy, especially McIlroy since he's from Northern Ireland in the next county over. I can't wait to dive in with Conor. Let's hit it. Yeah, baby. Here we are. Open Championship week. We made it, Conor. I'm ecstatic. I'm drinking. We're drinking Irish whiskey because the Rhoda has blessed us with one of the best golf courses on this entire little speck of dirt hurtling through the universe. Royal Portrush, County Antrim, Northern Ireland, the sacred ground of where I hail from. That's the same county my ancestors came to America from. I'm excited. Get Royal Portrush on my TV. I'm actually going to be watching it on my cell phone screen on Saturday from the Barracuda. Shout out NorCal. Conor, how are you doing? And you're muted. Way to go. Way to start the week. He's incredible. And if you ever doubt that we're live, this is how you find out.
Dude, I hadn't done that in weeks.
Yeah.
Literal weeks.
At least 2 weeks, yes.
I don't know if you're aware of this. First off, I'm from much further south. All my ancestry is from County Cork, but
yeah, very southern tip, yes.
But yes, Irish nonetheless. And then the other thing I was going to tell you, in light of me screwing that up, with the mute button, did you know that this is our 149th episode?
Oh, dang.
So we will hit lucky number 150 next week.
For the Minnesota.
Up here in my neck of the woods.
Yes, the northern plains of you betcha, and I need more ranch.
Yeah, dude, we got into a debate about that the other day. I won't drag on about it, but I'm of the opinion that if you put ranch on anything, you just like ranch, because the minute you put ranch on anything, that's all it tastes like.
Yeah, and I make a good ranch. My ranch is on my website. It's so good. And I give that recipe to anybody, because if you want things to taste like good ranch, like as one does, you want that recipe. It's way better. I haven't eaten bottled ranch in forever.
Ranch is not a condiment. It's a dressing. I don't want to go into it. It's a hot button for me.
You are correct.
Anyways, we digress.
Digression. What are you drinking?
I just took the last pour of my Jameson Blender's Dog.
Ah, Jameson from Ireland. From Dublin.
I'm gonna miss this one. This one.
Oh, that's a precious bottle from a bygone era.
Oh, it's so damn good. Darn good.
I'm going with the shortbread cookie pot still Redbreast 12 Irish whiskey. It's delicious, and it's delicious neat, which is something I cannot say about Jameson.
As long as it's not standard baseline Jameson,
that's what I'm referring to. Yeah, Blender Dog is better. Standard Jameson, it has to be chilled if I'm going to drink it neat. Otherwise, it's so bad that I can't even tolerate it. But if you're talking Irish whiskey and you want something that tastes good and not just trendy, Redbreast, number 12 or even 15, which I know Conor has in his cabinet.
I do. And it is delicious, to your point. And then, yeah, like, there's just so many good Irish whiskeys. We could go on and on. We've had some on the show.
Teeling. Yeah, you can go on forever. So, yeah, there he is.
Double fisted.
Oh, Dee Dee from the lake house. We love Dee Dee. Hi, Dee Dee. Hello.
I don't know if Tim's on here too. I don't know if Tim realizes, but the hat took it down last week.
The hat took it down at 80-1 odds. Dang.
Unreal.
Shout out to our listeners in Western Tennessee listening on the radio, 101.5, Talkin' West Tennessee. Shout out Memphis, Pollard's Barbecue. We love you out there. Let's jump right into the news. I got nothing else to say I want to get started. Let's get through the news, Niblick. Go over what we took down 2 tournaments on the show last week, both the alternate and the main. We're going to do it again this week since there's an alternate and a main. We're as hot as can be. We're in Fuego. We are.
Don't let us get hot.
Don't let us get hot. They already let us get hot, and you never walk away from the table when you're on a heater. Let's do it. And speaking of the hat pick, Chris Gotterup wins the Scottish Open over Rory McIlroy, over our other guys that we picked. It didn't matter. Our last pick of the week was the hat pick last week. We decided to talk more about it because he was number 4 in my model. And I was just going to use him for DFS, but when we dove down it deeper, the value was there, 80-1 for a guy who's in the top 20 of every ball striking category and was riding a hot putter and a decent short game lately. What do you have? 5 consecutive top 25 finishes entering the week, 9 this season overall. No top 10s until now. Chris Gotterup, youngster from Jersey, rookie on PGA Tour last year, won the Myrtle Beach Classic. This year goes out there and takes down the Scottish Open over the best field in golf. How good is Chris Gotterup? He's great, and he wins us money. Conor, talk about Chris Gotterup getting down at the Renaissance Club.
It's everything that we kind of hit on at the end of the show. I mean, you just start looking at it, and he was kind of primed. The course made a ton of sense. The approach games, like we talked a ton about how important ball striking was going to be last week, and I don't know, it just wasn't the sexiest of names, and maybe that's why we both didn't look at it right straight away, but. Came around in the end, and another good hit. Thanks.
How hot was my betting card when I added Gotterup at the end? It was next to Rory and Marco Penge, who, as you know, finished 3rd. Marco Penge out of left field. Another like Gotterup bomber, Rory bomber, Penge bomber, and guess what? 1, 2, and 3 right on the leaderboard there.
Yeah, it was wild, and I mean, Rory was kind of like. I don't know, just didn't
make the putts. He couldn't make the putts.
Just looked so good. Got our hopes up like Rory tends to do, and then just kind of cruise control a little bit. But Peng, I just really was making a nice run, especially on Sunday.
I thought he was going to do it, and that would have been 120-1 win. I'll take the top 5, top 10 because I got a little frisky when I saw his ball striking metrics. He was a pretty aggressive 120-1 pick by the end of the day.
I was surprised to see Fitzy pop up, although I should.
Me too.
In this part of the world, I mean, I guess if he was going to show up, it should be Scotland, maybe Northern Ireland, but
especially when it got all baked out on the weekend, like you could see Fitzy when it's hot, running hot and fast on the fairways. That's a dangerous player because he's so good when things are fast. It just seems like he's immune to it.
Yeah, he's just got it's not the same as having an eye. I guess he's just got a feel for it, you know, like the baked out conditions. Just really, he's always played well on them, and I mean, I got some late round DFS action on him, but was definitely not on the radar to be top 5 here. So.
Speaking of DFS, how about the ISCO championship last week in Louisville? There was a post on Twitter that Brian Kirshner put up, and he was just asking for people to bet on at the ISCO between 40 and 100-1. And I threw out a couple names. I threw out Taylor Montgomery, who's been riding a hot stick after coming off a neck injury, where his swing's always been garbage, but this is one of the best putters in the world. He finished pretty well, but my other guy they threw down there was a 65-1 pick that I also predicted would win a tournament this year back in January, and that's William Mouw. William Mouw, baby. Right about Mouw. ISCO, brother. Check it out now. Yeah, right about Meow.
What year was that? Like 90, 97, 98?
Yeah, we were both alive for it. I guarantee it. And it was all the rage for a long time in the 90s. But William Mouw, the youngster, final round 61 when everybody else is struggling to shoot 1 or 2 under par. William Mouw shoots a blistering 61 in Louisville to win the ISCO championship and win me a lot of money on both DFS and on the betting cards. Thank you, William Mouw. Thank you. I predicted back in January again that there would be 2 guys that are under the radar, so to speak, not mainstream names. I'd picked 2 names to win a tournament for a Calcutta type of salary cap draft in January. And the first one was Aldrich Potgieter. Check. And the next one was William Mouw. Check. Don't let him get hot, people. This has been a wild ride. Some of the hottest betting and DFS that I've ever had. So I'm trying to keep it hot for the Open Championship because I'm so excited for these 2 events this week. But man, right now I just need to sit on my laurels and enjoy this because this is a good feeling.
In case anybody's at all confused,
very modest, very humble.
Never been wrong in his life.
When I am, I'm very wrong though.
No, so William Mouw, yeah, you and I have been on him all year. Like you made a really nice early call, a couple months back on William Mouw. So, a heck of a round on Sunday, obviously. But it's it was kind of a young guns meets old, the old guard, across like the top 20 here. I mean, if you go down the list, you got people like Kevin Kisner who popped into a T8 here.
First top 10 since 2019 for Kiz.
It was good to see Jackson Koivunen up there, top 6. Fishburne, who we've both been on for weeks.
Yep.
But then like I said, you go down the list a little bit. You got Luke List, Kevin Kisner, Scott Piercy. I mean,
jeez.
It was an interesting leaderboard to say the least. But that 9 under on Sunday, that's a crazy
round. That's a crazy round because the course in Louisville was baked out too. It was running fast. Like they weren't holding greens anywhere on that course because it was just dry as a bone, baked out super fast. And Mouw was just throwing darts out there. This dude was sticking it close where nobody else was. He's already a really aggressive player, but everything was clicking for him on Sunday. 61. I think the next best score that day was 66. That should tell you all you need to know about how good that final round was to come from 7 shots back and win by 1 over Paul Peterson, who had a good chance to tie up and force a playoff and just couldn't make the birdies on the last 2 holes.
Who is also an elder statesman at 37 years of age.
Hey.
But yeah, it's with William Mouw too. Last thing I'll say on is, a lot of these younger guys, like we keep talking about it, they play aggressive. If they get a hot hand, watch out. And you don't necessarily know when they're going to pop off. So you just got to kind of roll your dice on them every week. Once you pick one, you see something in them, you keep riding. And that's
and I honestly went back in January when I said he was going to win a tournament. I was picturing the ISCO. I was like, it's going to be one of these alternate events where the top half of the field's overseas. And I was thinking it's going to be something in October, November after the FedEx Cup is over, or it's going to be the ISCO or the Barracuda or something like that. And that was my vision, was it's going to be something like that. And here he is with his first PGA Tour victory. Let's do it.
DM Bo for Powerball numbers.
Right now at this point, it might be worth it. I'll give you numbers, good for better or worse. You're going to get some numbers from me. I will play. You can't win if you don't play, guys.
No truer words have been spoken on this show.
Yeah. Final story news, Niblick. The LPGA Tour had their Evian Championship, which is one of their 5 majors, and Grace Kim was needing a final stretch to get into a playoff. She needed an eagle on the 72nd hole. She got the eagle. She finished her last 7 holes, including the two playoff holes, 7 under over her last 6 holes to win the Evian. Amazing grace. 7 under through 6 holes anywhere is crazy, but to win a major going through that stretch where she went 72nd hole through the 2 playoff holes, eagle, birdie, eagle to win. That's incredible. That's clutch. That is ice water in the veins. Grace Kim, felicidades. That's insane. Wow.
That it's otherworldly, really. I mean, I don't.
Yeah, and she took it right from the clutches of Thai player Thidi Cool, as well as one shot better than amateur Lottie Woad, who's going to be a superstar for a long time. The English woman who's still an amateur, not for long. She's almost finished at Florida State, I believe. So Lottie Woad, very imposing presence there on the leaderboard, along with Minji Lee, who also tied for 3rd. But Thidi Cool in the playoff thought she had it won, and Grace Kim made a crazy birdie from off the green. And then, of course, the eagle bomb, chipping the eagle on the second playoff hole to win. It's just crazy. Like, Grace Kim's finish was spectacular.
Yeah, we were talking about it before the show. Like, I catch some LPGA. I don't catch enough. Like, the ladies are going out and absolutely firing shots all weekend long. So really good golf, especially as of late.
There's a lot of dudes out there that might be scratch golfers or even a +1 or +2 that think they got enough game to take down one of these LPGA pros. Let me tell you right now, right here, you got none chance. You will get routed. You can have them give you 5 shots aside. They're still not going to let you even get close. They're that good. Like, a scratch golfer, some of these ladies out here on the LPGA Tour are playing to a +7 or a +8 handicap. You have zero chance. No matter the yardage, no matter the tee box, you name the course, you name the tee box, they're still going to absolutely crush you. No chance. You have 0% chance to beat them. 0.
I feel because of the eye contact, I felt like you were saying that to me. And
no, I know that you have reasonable expectations of, even if you were a scratch golfer, to know that you had none chance against an LPGA Tour pro.
I have none chance against somebody who's missing limbs. I mean, let's be honest. I'm playing.
No, you saw the some of the ones in the other the disabled one. It was I forget what they call it, the ambulance. I forget what they call it. I want to use the wrong terminology, but where they had the people in wheelchairs or missing limbs, they're out there shooting 65. Yeah, that is crazy. I played against some college.
DM me, mine are for sale. Like, I'm giving up.
Right. Yeah. I played against some NCAA level female golfers back when I was in college, and I was playing to a 2 or 3 handicap. And I was just like, I'm not going to bet them money, because, like, as soon as you watch them hit and see how straight they hit it and how consistent their short games are, you're like, I don't have a chance here. This is not going to end well for me, because they're just better. They're just better. I want to get into the Open Championship, Royal Portrush. Conor, are you ready to be as poetic as your Irish heart can be for Royal Portrush?
Just locked and loaded.
All right, let's hit it. Royal Portrush, County Leitrim, Northern Ireland. That's part of the United Kingdom. A lot of people don't know that the Emerald Island is divided into 2 nations. One's part of
that very somber tone you were using.
One's part of the United Kingdom. One is independent republic.
dynamite. So par 71, par 71, yardage 73.81. Fairways are a red fescue. Greens are a red fescue. Royal Portrush last held the Open Championship in 2019 with Shane Lowry claiming the claret jug. The course features 3 par 5s, 4 par 3s. Par 5s present some really tricky challenges, especially on approach. Greenside pop bunkering can be pretty nasty. So you're going to need a very accurate approach from a little bit longer distance on those guys to really capitalize on scoring. Nice thing about them, they are pretty gettable, believe it or not, even with the danger. A lot of birdies, a lot of eagles are going to come on those holes. The par 3s also fairly manageable with the exception of the 16th. The 16th is pretty darn long at about 230 plus yards. It's pretty tight as well. There's a lot of Calamity, yep, and that was so named because of the dangers that lurk around it. You've got some pretty tight out of bounds areas. It's also a very oddly shaped and placed green. It's kind of a long, thinner type of patch.
Crazy runoff area on the back right. If you hit it down there, you put X's over your eyes because you did.
Yeah, and that's the thing about some of these par 3s, especially is there's a lot of close danger on them. There's a lot of out of bounds, even on some of the par 4s. That's actually in the actual fairways themselves.
First hole.
So, yeah, exactly. So there's a lot of tricky stuff to look out for here. I will say it's a pretty tough walk. The course itself has a ton of elevation changes, which is pretty abnormal for the Open Championship. Tons of undulation. Not going to see a whole lot of flat lies typically.
Zero.
Very
bumpier.
Well, and to that point, it's a lot about mitigating how bumpy it is. Like there are very specific landing areas that you're trying to get to that allow for the best look on your approach. And if you look at historically here, the elite approach game, the precision approach game is absolutely critical. When Lowry won it back in 2019, I think he gained something like 5 strokes on approach, and I think it was upwards of 3.5 off the tee.
He won by 6, which is impressive because he can't putt.
No, and he did putt okay that week. It wasn't
so close to the hole. It was crazy. His approach game was so locked in.
But that's this place truly is going to be, and we love this about major events when we can say this. It's truly the entire bag that you need. There's going to be carnage.
Yes, there will be.
And the other variable that comes into play here is the weather. Right now,
it looks
Thursday,
good.
It looks okay. Thursday is going to be a little on the colder side, a little moisture in the morning. Definitely would prefer guys teeing off in the afternoon on Thursday. Friday looks about as close to a perfect day as you're going to get. So Friday is going to be your scoring day. And then Saturday and Sunday right now are calling for kind of off and on rain, some wind. Hard to say what the gusts are going to be like at this point. Could get a little hairy. But the weekend, cool, rainy, a little breezy, but nothing terrible right this second. But like I said, these winds fluctuate like crazy. So small greens, lots of trouble lurking everywhere, and possible wind, rain, and cold. It could get nasty in a hurry out here.
Yeah, it's on the northwest corner of the island, and which is right up against the North Atlantic. And as you might know about the North Atlantic, it gets quite stormy in the summertime and at the drop of a hat. We talked about that on the North Sea, on the east coast of Scotland. This is even more so where you get the Atlantic Ocean currents blowing storms off in a moment's notice. You can go from mid-60s and sunny to a gale with sideways rain. And there is rain in the forecast, over 60% chance all 4 days of the tournament, which just means that you're going to have passing showers throughout the week. That's not as big of a deal. It was very wet and rainy when Lowry won in 2019. But the wind, you just never know. They don't have meteorologists there that are earning much of a salary because the weather changes every hour, even every minute sometimes in the summertime especially. It's crazy out there. But if we stick to mild weather, you could see this be 12 under. I don't think Lowry's 15 under stands up because he won by 6. The dude was so locked in. But between 5 and 12 under sound about right. Like it's not going to be brutal like the U.S. Open, but it is going to be tough if the wind picks up.
Yeah, I think I actually I think it's a big what if the wind doesn't really do much on the weekend, and
they get 15 easily.
Yeah, if it's just more like kind of cool and kind of moist conditions where everything is super receptive, you're not getting a ton of rollout. Like, and these guys are just throwing darts in there and watching them stick. It could go low pretty quick, but yeah, I would say somewhere between. I think it's pretty safe to say somewhere 12 to 16 is probably what I see happening. I think you got some pretty favorable scoring conditions both Thursday afternoon as well as most of the day on Friday, so you can get out to a pretty good start.
Yeah, and I think you said it earlier, total bag challenge. This, regardless of whether it's good scoring conditions or poor scoring conditions, you need to be great off the tee. You need to be really good on approach. And if you're not great on approach, or if you're scrambling around, you better be good at scrambling and bogey avoidance and double bogey avoidance, because this place will light you up. Rory McIlroy 2019, we're going to talk about him a lot today. He missed the cut. First round, shot 79 with the what I call the Conor Coughlin special. He had a double bogey, triple bogey, and a quad bogey all in the same round. And people don't forget 79. And then he turned around and shot a 65 on day 2 and missed the cut by a single shot. But that's the kind of danger that lurks around this place. It wasn't even a tough scoring day on Thursday, but Rory McIlroy, of all places, in his backyard, shot a 79 at Royal Portrush and then turned around and went 6 under the very next day. This place is going to have volatility. You're going to make some birdies, and you're going to have some crooked numbers if you're not careful.
I got nothing else to say other than I'm pretty excited to talk about the guys we want to win some money on this week.
Let's bet on some golf and stay hot. Club Twirls. Here it is. Number 1 on the board. Scottie Scheffler, plus 450. Can't read fescue greens. Sorry. He was number 1 in ball striking last week. Number 118 putting. That's bad. He's reading Braille out there. He cannot read Braille. Until Scottie Scheffler learns how to putt on a links golf course, I'm not touching him, especially not plus 450. Some guy named Rory McIlroy is from the next county over, county down in Hollywood. And this is county Lantrim County.
There it is.
I couldn't think of it. But yeah, Lantrim and County Down right next to each other. Royal Portrush is right in the backyard. Rory McIlroy, plus 750. Yes, please. Full. Everything you got. Rory McIlroy, plus 750. Any disagreement, Conor?
None, and I don't think it's going to be particularly close.
I think he wins by 5. I think he's going to torch this place.
He's got this thing earmarked, dog-eared. Oh,
you don't think he remembers his first round 79 in 2019? He's going to come out he quad bogeyed the first hole that week. That was first hole was an 8.
I'll say this about Rory. We've seen a bunch of different evolutions of Rory as far as the mental game is concerned. I think at that time in particular, I think that he was just a head case. I think he had it in his head that he was going to come out and win. And I think the minute that deviated from his plan at all, he had to scramble.
The first hole on Thursday, quad bogey, snowman.
Yeah. Yep. And I think that's the problem with Rory that we've seen for a lot of years. Now, this year, I feel like it's been improved. I mean, we've definitely seen blow-ups out of Rory, but it used to be that if Rory didn't get off to a hot start, then you might as well fold because he just wasn't going to be able to bring it back together. So a determined Rory on what I would consider to be one of the better seasons we've seen him play in probably a decade. I'm pretty excited for this week.
After that disaster round that he had, he went on to win the FedEx Cup for the second time that year, 2019. So that round woke him up, and he went on an absolute tear the rest of the season with the 65. Still missed the cut, came out the rest of the year and completely locked it down, took down the 15 mil that year. So yeah, I think that he's got some vindication on the agenda for this week.
Well, and if you look at like what you just said, like has he had better years, right? Like like not statistically, but like as far as placement's concerned, as far as like taking down the FedEx Cup, yeah, absolutely. But in terms of like consistency and overall improvement to his game, like you and I have said it a lot this year about Rory. This is probably the most well-rounded, fine-tuned Rory that maybe we've seen. Like every part of his game is pretty well dialed.
And 6 years later, his maturity is the biggest thing for me. Like the maturity to get over something that goes against him. This is I don't think it's gonna be close. And you can squabble about all the other guys that we're going to talk about. I'm going to be betting on Xander Schauffele at 25-1. Conor's going to make his weekly donation to the casinos in Las Vegas, or wherever he's betting, for a Tommy Fleetwood outright. So it's fine with me. You can go ahead and spend your money however you want. You're a full-grown adult American man.
Tommy finished runner-up here last time in 2019, right?
I'm sure he did. But did he win? He finished runner-up by 6 shots. That's not exactly blowing the doors down.
Yeah, I'm just saying. He's going
to win. Saying that he's been runner-up quite a bit.
What do you want with Xander Schauffele? I mean, like,
he's the best links player in the last 3 years by a long shot, by strokes gained total.
I don't know, man.
It's not even close either. Like Scottie Scheffler gets it done with his tee to green, but he loses stroke putting. Xander Schauffele gains off the tee, on approach, on short game, and putting across the board on links golf courses. He is by far the most strokes gained on links golf courses, which includes all the open courses, the Dunhill links, and the Scottish.
Couldn't get it done last week in a lesser field on an easier course. I don't know.
Not much of a lesser field, honestly. That last week's field is the best non-major field in golf, right next to the Players. Like the Players and the Scottish, strongest fields in golf for non-majors. The Open is up there too. Obviously, it's a major, but Xander Schauffele, defending champion golfer of the year. I understand that this golf course is different. It's quite unique to the Rhoda. I just think Xander is as classy as it gets, as well-rounded as it gets on links golf courses. And his top 5 finish last week, or top 10, I think it was 8th. That is a really good sign for his game shaping up finally.
Yeah, that sounds neat.
Go ahead and make your donation, Tommy Fleetwood. We both agree on Shane Lowry at 35-1. 30 opened at 30. That's where I got him. But 35 is fantastic. He won by 6 shots here. Same golf course. He's playing good golf this year too. He can't putt. He never has been able to putt. But last time at this golf course, he gained so many shots on approach that nobody had a chance to out birdie him. And I'm just going to ignore your Victor Hovland line because come on.
So Victor Hovland was 3rd at the U.S. Open, 11th at the Scottish Open, and over the last 36 rounds is 2nd in this field for approach. He's number 1 in this field for par 3s, 200 to 225. He's number 1 in this field from 175 to 200 yards on approach. Victor Hovland is sneaky good right now. Sneaky good. Now,
I'm scrolling down to find him in my model.
Well, that's because you've got yours filtered to heck and gone.
Yeah, but when I filtered, a lot of great golfers are at the top. A lot of them that we would expect to see. And I just don't see Victor. I'm still scrolling.
Don't sleep on Victor Hovland this week, I'm telling you. 11th last week. If you're going to make comparisons to links play from last week to this course, was Xander Schauffele, who's having a worse season than Victor Hovland.
Excuse me. I was just sleeping on Victor Hovland this week. I was sleeping well too, like a stone, like a log.
I'm pretty excited about Victor Hovland this week.
I'm excited to see how many chips it takes him to get out of these pot bunkers.
Yeah, he's not going to go in a lot of them with being number 2 in overall approach.
Okay. We'll see. We both agree on a couple mid-price guys. We differ on not the golfer per se. Like I do like Robert McIntyre at 40-1. I just think he's a little short. He's obviously having a great season, ball striking wise. Runner up at the U.S. Open. I like Robert McIntyre. I'm on the fence at 40-1. That seems like it's right where it should be, and I don't see the leverage there or the value there for betting. But I'm definitely seeing the 65-1 value on Russell Henley, who is a ball striking extraordinaire. Any difference here between those two? Obviously, Henley's having a good season, not lately, but McIntyre's coming on strong this season. Where do you draw the line there?
I like them both, to be honest. Part of the reason that Henley hasn't made my card yet is I just like a lot. Like one, I'm going to be really heavy on Rory, Fleetwood, and Hovland. I'll have some sprinkles on Lowry because I do think if the weather kicks up at all, Lowry's value increases. Of course, he's done well at obviously. So yeah, Henley's just kind of the odd man out right now for me. There's some long shots that I really like that I think are extreme values too. So if I have a little room left in the budget, I'll have some Henley love. But McIntyre to me, love the way he lined up last week. Having a great season, very good ball striker. I think it's going to stay relatively receptive. So I think Bobby Mack's got some pretty high upside here.
Yes, he does.
And then I'll let you talk about our next guy because we both agree on this guy is another guy. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and winner of the last week's Live Tour event in Spain, Andalusia, Patrick Reed. Nobody likes him. Nobody cares. He has a worst Starbucks order ever. Terrible personality, sues a bunch of people, blocks everybody on social media. Nobody can really stand to be around him. But this guy's so good at golf that it's ridiculous. And namely, his short game and scrambling stats are off the charts good. This guy is a wizard around the greens. He's number 3 in my model, number 1 in around the green, number 2 in scrambling, number 1 in sand saves, number 2 in double bogey avoidance. He's actually number 11 in approach. So he's not even putting himself in a lot of peril, and he's still great. Number 11 in bogey avoidance, 14th in tee to green overall, 16th in putting. This guy's just an absolute magician. And off the tee, he's been pretty bad, but everywhere else, he's been super duper good. That's where I'm going. 80-1 for a guy of that caliber who just won in Spain. Unbelievable odds. The value is extreme. I can't believe it's still 80-1 right now. Like right now.
Well, and just like Bobby Mack, Patty Reed was in a finished top 10 last time that the Open was held here. So, yeah. And we love Reed when it's more of a grind out. Might have to get a little bit down and dirty. I'm in love with Reed this week, and I especially love the fact that he's coming in great form. That win on Live,
great form. He smashed them last week. Well, long shots, I have quite a few. You have quite a few. We agree on a couple of them. Starting at 90-1 with a guy who absolutely shouldn't be 90-1, Ben Griffin. That's got to be a miss. They have to have messed up because Ben Griffin at 90-1 is insane. That's insane, right? Like, what are we missing here?
I can't put my finger on it, really. You can't even say that it's anything historical against the guy. Like, I mean, yeah, he's having an otherworldly season for him, but I mean, but he's having an amazing season. Like, he's in great form.
He's so hot right now.
You're going to be hard pressed to find a model that isn't going to spit him out in the top 5. I don't care how you're sorting it.
He's not very high in my model. I'm still betting on him.
Well, so I think the conditional modeling like you do, I think has a lot of value on a lot of these guys. I just don't know if it's as applicable to Ben Griffin. Just less experience on these types of tracks. So I am leaning a little more. I run 2 every week. I run one that's heavily mixed conditions, and then I run more that's just kind of a last 36 generic type of deal. So I'm leaning a little more on that one. He's 3rd in that one. Excellent on the longer par 3s. Excellent at bogey avoidance. Approach is 12th, which is just steadily getting better every single week. And his off the tee game, he's added a little bit of distance. He's been deadly accurate this year. So I really think Ben Griffin sets up really nice here, and especially if the weather doesn't get haywire.
Oh yeah, if the weather stays good, Ben Griffin's gonna be right there. The next guy on our list is 110 to 1, and again, what is going on with these odds? Because Harry Hall 110 to 1, I'll take that all the way to the bank. Give me a break here. That's ridiculous. Harry Hall is a magician.
We talked about Harry Hall last week, and we even made reference to the fact that if the conditions get worse, Harry Hall gets even better. A guy who can make a lot of birdies can definitely keep up here. Scores well on par threes, scores well on par fives. And like I said, if it gets worse, he still finds a way to score. So Harry Hall is we're going to ride with him again this week.
All the way to the bank, baby. You're the second person I've heard today tout Tom Kim. I get it. On that list of strokes gained on links courses where Xander was number 1, Scottie number 2, number 9 on the list was Tom Kim, which, as badly as he's played the last year and a half, he's a links specialist. It's just what it is. Tom Kim, 150 to 1. I don't hate it. I'm going to go with the guy who matches up with this particular links course a little better, and it's Akshay Bhatia at 170 to 1. I like his wedge game. I like his putting that's been gone from 120th on tour to 20th this year. The short game, the approach game, the creativity that Akshay Bhatia exhibits. I don't love him on a links course because he's more of a shot shaper, a thinker, a creative type off the tee and on approach. But 170 to 1 for a guy with that much talent, I gotta see what he does. I gotta. Like, Tom Kim's a safer bet because he's traditionally a good links player, but Akshay at 170, that just seems weird.
I'm Tom Kim all day. I played him last week. It's amazing. He's miscut, then tees it up on a links course, and
he's magic.
and just magically finds himself inside the top 20 with next to no form. So I'm going to definitely ride with Tom Kim again here. I think this actually could play even more to Tom Kim if it stays receptive, like I think it's going to. Oh, yeah. Sign me up, Tom Kim, again this week. He could be a shocker come Sunday. Like, really, this is exactly the type of setup for Tom Kim. I mean, just like you said, something about links golf. With Akshay, I get it.
I just like the upside. I love that upside. It's so tempting because 170 is a lot of money. You can like $5 on a guy with 2 or 3 PGA Tour wins. And especially, I think he does better. Like, Tom Kim and Akshay are very similar in the fact that if the weather gets nasty, I don't see them both lasting. But if the weather stays as mild as it's supposed to be, both these guys are in play, especially Tom Kim with his consistency on links courses, and Akshay with his upside making birdies and bunches when the weather is good.
Yeah, I think with Akshay, like the big upside with him is the overall approach, especially over the last 36. He's inside the top 10 for almost every approach metric I looked at. So I think as long as the wind stays down, Akshay is pretty live. I do worry about the off the tee game. I do worry about the long iron game a little bit with Akshay. You do not want to be finding yourself too wayward here. So you just got to hope that he brings that. But overall, the approach and a lot of the wedge play, I do like Akshay quite a bit.
Yeah, fair enough. I have two Englishmen at the bottom of my card. You have Hao Tong Lee again, 350 to 1. That's pretty cool. Talk to me about Lee, because I got to talk about these two English guys to wrap up the British Open, if you want to call it that.
Well, I'll let you just run with them. I talked about Hao Tong quite a while last week. Like I said, I think we knew he's super volatile, peaks and valleys. Hao Tong Lee having a good year. This could be a peak for him. And I think his value only increases like the more mundane the conditions are, which can be said about a lot of people. But if there isn't a whole lot of roadblock in front of Hao Tong and he can just kind of line up and fire at these pins, stick them close like he's prone to doing, 350 to 1, pretty good number on somebody that I was pretty high on last week. So I'm just gonna ride it out.
Yeah, why not? Marco Penge, man. Last week was so fun because it's like I obviously have followed the DP World Tour, and the guy's lighting it up. He hits the ball a mile, and he comes out and finishes top 5 at the Scottish, and I look like a genius for once. Marco Penge is very live here. It's 180 to 1. I don't care about his inexperience. He definitely showed it on Sunday where he got a little nervous. He was really close to pulling that off for the win. Gotterup just better. But Marco Penge is the future of European golf. That's a very talented player. And then Jordan Smith, 200 to 1 for an Englishman who keeps winning on the DP World Tour. The guy's a winning machine on the DP World Tour. He plays links golf great. I don't understand why he's 201. I understand why Penge is 180. But what did Jordan L. Smith do to anybody to be 180 to 1 at the Open Championship? I don't understand.
Another dude we liked last week too, at even better odds. So
that doesn't make any sense. Like, okay, I'll throw a few bucks on 200 to 1 multiple time winner on the DP World Tour.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're getting him at like double the odds we got him at last week. So,
which is insanity.
I'll sign me up for another run with him. Not as hot to trot on Penge, but everything you're saying is true. I think he's going to be.
Yeah, Penge for me is just like, hey man, let's just ride the guy while he's as confident he's going to be this season. We do have another tournament in Northern California this week, the Barracuda. Are you going to throw some bets down at the Barracuda? Because I'll be boots on the ground on Saturday. I'll be there, man. I'll be there.
I am going to throw some bets down this week. Just got to switch my models here real quick, but go ahead with your first guy.
Some guy is the favorite in this tournament. It's the first time he's played this tournament from Chico, California, which is about 2.5 hours away from Truckee, where the tournament is. Shout out NorCal, Kurt Kitayama, 20 to 1. Yes, please. Favorite in the tournament for a reason. He's playing great golf this season, albeit without any semblance of a putter. Like, this guy hasn't made a putt at all this season, and yet he's still scoring. His tee to green this season has been so good that he keeps giving himself opportunities to make birdies, and every once in a while he makes some birdies. And this course is at elevation. It's at 6,000 or 7,000 feet elevation. You're going to be hitting it long. It's Stableford, so the birdies and the eagles that he's going to be able to take advantage of this golf course with at elevation with his power. This is one of the longest top 10 driving distance guys in the world. I think Kurt Kitayama wins this pretty easily. 20 to 1 is a great favorite price on the books. I also like Ryo Hisatsune at 40 to 1. Hayden Springer at 75 to 1, which was the best value on the board. Hayden Springer's having a great season. Lots of money made this season on tour. 75 to 1 for a guy of that caliber is a great value. And then I'm going to throw a couple bucks on Cristobal del Solar at 250 to 1, playing so good. I have no idea how we still get 250 to 1 on a guy that seems to pop up every couple of weeks on easier golf courses like this. Old Greenwood is gorgeous, but it is not difficult. These guys are going to be going low in the Stableford scoring system. Del Solar, yes, please. You got 4 guys that also have lots of merit, including one of your favorites from Minnesota.
So mine, Lee Hodges at 30 to 1. Lee Hodges actually rates out number 1 in this field for me for approach.
Yes.
So love that for him. Great
iron player. Great iron player.
And we've been off and on Lee Hodges all season. So like him in this field, especially. Andrew Putnam, who's having a pretty darn good year as well. Really solid on approach, great around the greens. Does not like him bogeys. He tends to avoid them better than anybody in this field. 45 to 1 there.
Because he's a great player.
Matt Meisner, somebody that we don't talk about nearly enough, probably hasn't really had the type of season that he was having last year. I like the number on that guy a little more than I like the form. 90 to 1.
Missed the cut at the ISCO. Broke my heart. I would have won so much more money if he had made the cut.
Yeah, and I think I'm betting on the guy I know he can be, not the guy he is right now. But 90 to 1's a good number. And then I can't quit him now. My buddy who doesn't know it yet, Frankie Sapin, the third from Minnesota.
Yes.
401.
Oh, more ranch over here. Let me scooch right past you there.
I like Frankie. I like Frankie in this field a lot. I think this is probably the least challenging field that he's played in quite some time. He might be a little more comfortable. you can fire away here. So I definitely think that there's a ton of upside, 400 to 1 on Frankie Sapin.
All right. Are you ready for the hat?
Oh, yeah. Almost
the hat
forgot.
Was.
How dare I? The hat was on fire last week.
Yeah, drew number 1, which was Scottie Scheffler, and then we took another one because nobody really wants the hat to pick Scottie Scheffler, and it picked Chris Gotterup. So
the hat's a little more bold this week. Number 74.
74. Yeah, very bold. Oh, gross.
What do you got at 74?
You're gonna love this. It's bold, but it's funny because you just talked about him. Hao Tong Lee.
I love it. The hat, man. The hat.
Yeah, it was either that or Jesper Svensson, but no, they're tied. I'd rather take Hao Tong Lee because he has more rounds in my model.
Oh, you're never gonna believe who number 74 in my model is. Tony Finau.
Yeah, that's bad. Come on, hat. The hat blew it all out on last week's Scottish Open champion.
I'll tell you what, though, that the hat made its mark on the season. That was a great call by the hat.
The hat made me a good chunk. All right. Next week is the 3M Open at TPC Twin Cities. That Twin Cities there. Join us for the 3M Open, the Tony Finau Open, actually, honestly. We're being honest.
Don't like him there. Spoiler.
Spoiler. We don't like him at the 3M anymore either. I think I will like him next week if he's there. All right. Join me at the Barracuda on Saturday if you're going to NorCal. I'll be there. Guns a-blazing. Shout out.